about to leave. Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know.
It's rolling.
I know.
Looking at the camera.
Everybody said that I don't look at you.
No, because when you're talking, you
Don't look at me when you're talking. Look at the camera.
Okay.
So weird.
I'm Tony.
I know who you are. And I'm Michael.
And welcome to our channel. This is going to be a lot of fun. So today's episode is about Melrose. Melrose is both a street, right?
Yes.
And a
district.
And a district, an area of Los Angeles. Melrose is a street. It's very, very long. It runs from approximately downtown LA all the way to West Hollywood, approximately, right? It dead ends in West Hollywood, actually.
Yes, it dead ends in West. It actually connects to it. Yeah, it dead ends and connects to Santa Monica Boulevard.
Right. So a portion of Melrose, what we're going to talk about today, which is the Melrose District, which kind of runs between La Brea and approximately Fairfax, although it actually continues on a little farther into West Hollywood. But that area is the one we're going to be talking about. And the one that's kind of most famous around the world. And one of the reasons why it's famous is because of popular culture, right? So TV shows, movies.
Well, that's LA in general, but yes.
Right. But what particular show made it really supercharge its fame?
Melrose Place.
Melrose Place, obviously, yeah. So Melrose Place ran from 1992 to 1999. So I actually moved to LA in 1990, actually 1989.
Were you a fan of Melrose Place?
No, I didn't really watch it.
Yeah, I didn't really watch it either.
Well, we were living it. We're here, we're living it. So I think people that watch Melrose Place are people who are like thinking, oh, I want to live the LA dream, the LA lifestyle, right? So they lived in this like bungalow, not bungalow, but it was like a courtyard. It was a Spanish courtyard building in West Hollywood, and a bunch of these people lived in this Spanish bungalow not bungalow, but a courtyard building, and they all lived in these apartments that kind of faced into the courtyard, right? And It was kind of about how all their different lives intersected in the show.
Intersexted in the show.
Intersexted is probably
a lot of sex in the show. Yes.
Right. Yeah. So. Anyway, so that's what really made Melrose Place or Melrose famous. And of course, there were a lot of stars that came out of there. Grant Show.
Actually, did you know that Grant Show's character is actually first originally came out in Beverly Hills 90210?
Well, actually, 90210. Melrose Place was a spin-off of 90210.
Because of Grant Show, yeah. Because of his character.
Right. And Andrew Shue, of course, famous actor Andrew Shue. Courtney Thorne-Smith was in it. Who else was in it?
Famous people that you would recognize. Heather Locklear. She started out as a special guest, but then she became a regular on the show. But she was not one of the originals. She would come on as a special guest. Lisa Renner was also in it.
You need to pronounce the name correctly. We're on a show.
I'll look it up later.
You can't look it up later. We've got to look it up now.
Renner.
This is your job to do the research.
I did. I just didn't know how to say it.
Well, she's not even on the list.
Lisa Renner.
Well, she's not even on that list.
No, I said these are the original people, but Lisa Renner, like Heather Locklear, was you said to me, who else? I said, well, famous people that you would recognize, Heather Locklear, who was, and you looked down and you said,
All right, let's forget about Lisa. We'll cut her out.
it's right here. Rinna. Lisa Rinna.
Okay. So who else was in the show? Lisa
Rinna was also in the show. She's married to, what's his name from Clash of the Titans?
I don't know what's his name is.
Clash of the Titans.
Look it up. My God. I can't believe we're on a show and you're calling people what's his name.
Oh, Harry Hamlin. So Lisa Rinna.
Yes, Lisa Rinna
And well, she's married to Harry Hamlin, who was Perseus in Clash of the Titans. That's how I remember him. Anyway, and then I did mention Heather Locklear. Jack Wagner was also in the show.
Yes.
Yeah, he was in the show as well. Not one of the originals, but he was also in the show. And he and Heather Locklear were actually dating while they were both on the show, and they were engaged to get married. But that didn't work out. They got into a huge public fight, and that ended.
Right. Okay. So
Right. Are you saying right because
I'm agreeing with you. I guess you did your
you
research.
have no idea?
You did your research. I'm sure, and it's all accurate. So anyway,
Yes.
so Melrose Place, and then Entourage. More recently than that, Entourage was, a lot of scenes from Entourage. L.A. was in Entourage, right?
No, I could never get into that either. Did you watch Entourage?
No, it was a little bit after me. I wasn't really watching TV.
After you?
I mean, it was not my scene.
You were too old for it.
Okay. Whatever. So anyway, you're such a nudge. Anyway, so Entourage was filmed on Melrose Place quite a lot. I'm sorry, Melrose.
I have a friend who calls me a duck because she can't say the DI word.
Right.
So you get, instead of a nudge, because that's really old. You can't say nudge. Call me a duck. I'm a duck.
Right. So, and a lot of famous people started on Melrose at Fairfax High School. So Fairfax High School is on the corner of Melrose and Fairfax.
Isn't there a comedy club there too, where some famous people performed?
We're going to talk about that.
Okay.
Right now we're talking about Fairfax High School. So Fairfax High School, Betty White graduated from there. She went to school there.
Oh, she did.
Yeah. And the Red Hot Chili Peppers came out of there. Anthony Kiedis. So, a lot of famous people came out of Fairfax High School. But when I was, you used to go to Melrose a lot too, right? I assume you did.
I used to go to Melrose. I used to go there shopping. A lot of hip clothing stores at the time because I was hip then. Don't go there now. Can't afford it. It's too expensive.
Oh my God. We're talking about Melrose and we're doing Melrose Strong and you're saying you don't go there and it's too expensive. Great advocate for Melrose.
Okay. Look at the camera. Yes, I used to go there all the time. I used to go to Johnny Rockets. I used to go shopping there and would just go ahead and make a day of it. Yep.
Yeah. And we actually made a day of it recently.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about that. So anyway, I used to go to a place called The Burger that ate LA. Remember that place? It's a Starbucks now, but...
No, I actually don't remember that place. I was, Johnny Rockets was the thing at the time, and so I knew Johnny Rockets. I didn't.
Johnny Rockets, the very first Johnny Rockets was on Melrose.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what started it all.
What is it now? Was it a Thai? Oh, it was a plant-based, vegan Thai restaurant, something like that.
Yeah, it's like a vegan. I mean,
very LA.
Well, but things evolve. I mean, it was once Johnny Rockets, and that kind of honored the time, and now
It's all
it's
vegan
30
burgers.
years later, and it's a new place where kind of reflects what the times are all about. Anyway, so I used to go to the Burger That Ate LA. It was had a giant. There was like a replica of City Hall with a giant burger in front of it, and you would like sit in front of the giant burger that was eating Los Angeles.
Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. It was a theme restaurant, but I think where I ate at the most on Melrose, other than Johnny Rockets and Louise's. You remember Louise's?
Louise Trattoria.
Yeah, it was next door. We used to go to the Groundlings all the time, and we would go to Tommy Tang's before the Groundlings. So Tommy Tang's was a Thai restaurant that was I think it was next door to the Groundlings, essentially. And they would have...
Is that where they had the Thai Elvis?
No, you keep saying that. It's a totally different place. This is where they had the waiting staff were the waiting staff were what's the word?
I don't know. You should do your research. Why don't you look it up?
So anyway,
They were alive. They were zombies.
We used to go to the Groundlings, and before the Groundlings, we would go to Tommy Tang's, and they had.
Well, not everybody knows what the Groundlings is, so why don't you say...
We're going to talk about it.
I understand that. So instead of just saying the name, Groundlings, which was a comedy club, we'll talk about it later.
We're talking about food places now.
But then why do you keep mentioning the Groundlings?
I'm going to start over again.
Okay.
We used to go to the... Oh, my God.
See?
I'm never going to get through this.
Stop being a dick. A duck.
So,
Stop being a duck.
So anyway, we used to go to the Groundlings.
Oh, I know that restaurant.
It's not a restaurant. Groundlings is a comedy club. It's actually it's improv. But before we went to the Groundlings, we went to Tommy Tang's. And Tommy Tang's, their waiting staff was in drag. And that was... What's funny about that?
Nothing. I'm just imagining it. I have a good imagination.
It was amazing. It was really cool. I mean, it was like that was like the thing to do. So we went there, and we would have dinner, and we have our pad thai, and then we would go to the Groundlings. It was fun.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, and when we were going there, this is in the 90s. Wee Herman was still going there, I believe. I think we saw him there a couple times. And Sherry O'Terry and Will Ferrell, who went on to do Saturday Night Live and become famous on Saturday Night Live. A lot of the skits that we saw them do at the Groundlings, they eventually did on Saturday Night Live later on. So, but it's still, the Groundlings is still there. They're still doing the thing, and they're still churning out major talent. It's a great place. So if you're looking for something to do on Melrose, one of the things you can do is you can go to the Groundlings in the evening, an evening thing to do.
I'm going to put it on my list.
There's going to be a lot of editing on this show.
Why?
Lot of editing.
It's funny.
Yeah. So anyway, popular culture. So used in a lot of movies, TV shows, and so forth. So other than the places we mentioned, which are kind of like things from the past, of course, now, things from the past that are still there are like Pink's Hot Dogs on the corner of Melrose and La Brea.
Yes.
It's been there since 1939. It's kind of an interesting story, Pink's.
Yes, but Pink's is not on Melrose. It's just it's on La Brea.
Well, yeah, it's in the Melrose District.
Okay, that's different, but it's not on Melrose.
No, it's actually on La Brea, but it's in the
La Brea.
Melrose District. So it opened in 1939, and it started with a $50 investment. It's a push cart. The story was that they
started when?
1939.
$50 for a push cart?
Well, I don't know if it was just a push cart, but I think they had inventory and stuff like that as well. But it started with a $50 investment, and I think the story goes that...
Were you there?
No, I was not there. I think how the story goes is that the landlord started to charge them more money for the spot they put the push cart on, and they decided it was like it was probably double, I think, what they were paying, and they decided just to go ahead and try to buy the land that they had the push cart on. So they went to Bank of America, and they convinced Bank of America to give them a loan, and they did, and ultimately they bought the land, and they kind of converted the push cart into kind of a larger space, and they started serving hamburgers in addition to the hot dogs, and it kind of grew, and it's still there. It's still basically a burger stand. It's not like a full-blown restaurant. It's a stand, like an old roadside stand, essentially.
I've never been. Do they have burgers?
You've never been to Pink's?
I've never been to Pink's.
Oh my God.
Never.
Are you from LA?
I am, but I don't like hot dogs. You know me with food. I don't like everything. Well, I'll tell you what.
He's very difficult with food. He doesn't like anything.
Shh, that's another episode. Anyway. Yeah, no, for some reason, I get headaches when I eat hot dogs. Real bad headaches. I don't know what it is that...
Let's go and get a Pink's hot dog and see if you get a headache.
Okay.
Maybe they have special hot dogs and you won't get a headache. Maybe Beverly and Richard will invite us to have a hot dog. They're the owners of Pink's.
Oh, okay.
The grandchildren of Paul and Betty. Anyway, so they serve like 2,000 hot dogs a day, and it's a landmark, and people from all over the world come there because it's so famous, and it's right there in the Melrose District. So that's a place that's been there for decades. And then more recently, Pizzeria Mozza and Osteria Mozza are still the Nancy Silverton's restaurants are there, and kind of more kind of down to earth, kind of accessible is Blue Jam Cafe, which.
Nancy Silverton, she's La Brea Bakery, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
She's kind of an icon of the culinary scene here in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And Blue Jam Cafe, BLU Jam Cafe. I think their first one was there on Melrose. Now they're all over. They have one in the Valley on Ventura, and they have another place in downtown. I'm not sure where else they might have a restaurant, but Blue Jam's kind of really known for its brunch in the morning, and it's pretty awesome.
Blue Jam
Cafe.
They should they should have live music there. Blue Jam.
They might.
Great. I went to a restaurant once called Red, White, and Blues, and they had all jazz music. It was pretty amazing.
Where was that?
It was in Pasadena.
Oh.
Far away from Melrose Place.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
It's
Anyway,
actually
so
no longer there.
So going back to things to do, the Groundlings. Actually, we already talked about that. And then other things to do on the weekend is on Saturday. On the weekend, they have the Melrose Trading Post, which is it's one day a week.
Flea market.
They
sell antiques.
Yeah, it's more than that.
So it's like a swap meet kind of thing, right?
It's not a swap meet. I think, yeah, you're right. It's probably closer to what we would call a flea market.
Yeah.
But it's more than a flea market. It's kind of a special place. And again,
it's a special flea market.
It is special. It
is, but what would you call it? It's a flea market.
We're actually doing a whole episode just on. It's so special, the Melrose Trading Post. We're actually doing a whole episode on it.
But that's you alone, because I couldn't make it.
Well,
I wasn't there for that.
We're going to be talking about it.
Okay, that's fine. But I just wasn't there for that.
Right. You're trying too hard.
I wasn't invited.
Right. Okay. So anyway, we're going to in kind of revisiting Melrose more recently, we talked to our friend Kim Soodhalter, and she works with the Melrose merchants. In fact, the T-shirts we're wearing, Melrose Strong, is basically a response to coronavirus and kind of bringing business back to Melrose post-coronavirus, right? So that's why we're wearing the shirts, by the way. And we wanted to do a story about at least one of the legacy stores on Melrose that kind of goes back to the 80s and 90s when it was really kind of the punk scene. So Melrose, what it's really known for is that back in the 80s and 90s when it really kind of emerged as what it is today, it was kind of the center of LA's punk scene and new wave and punk scene. So a lot of the clothing stores used to kind of cater to that kind of lifestyle, the punk lifestyle, the new wave lifestyle. And one of the legacies to that is Headline Records. And Jean-Luc, who is the owner, still the owner, still there. And so she hooked us up with him, and we did an interview with him, and it was fascinating.
Yeah.
Now, I used to, when I was in college, I used to go to the punk clubs in Muncie, Indiana. Muncie is a thriving punk rock scene.
I was a sheltered boy. My mother was a helicopter mother. I didn't do very much of that stuff.
Oh, you didn't do that? You do slam dancing?
No. If I went out, I snuck out. I didn't do all that stuff that you did.
Yeah, we used to go slam dancing to Black Flag and the Circle Jerks.
Never heard of them.
Right. I'm sure some of the people watching have. So anyway, so we went to Headline Records, and Jean-Luc gave us a great kind of backstory on Headline Records. So here we go. Let's hear what he has to say.
Yep.
So my name is John from Headline Records, and the store is located at 7706 Melrose Avenue in Los Angeles. Started to discover punk rock around when I was 17 years old, 16, 17. So like any passion, you know, a painter or, you know, sculpture, you always dream to work for yourself, to always dream to do everything by yourself, you know, and to make a living on it. That is, you know, it's normal. It's like a band. You know, you play in a band, and you hope one day you can have a successful band, and, you know, tour and make a living, and, you know, that is normal, you know, thinking. But between, you know, the thinking and the reality, sometimes it's a big gap. But, you know, what happened is, you know, I started to work at 16, and for a long period of time I was working. And at 30, I have the opportunity just to do it. Just the energy, and just the fuck off, the fuck you, you know, and just the you know, I'm not saying the aggression, it's just the attitude. You know what I mean? You know, I like the attitude, and I like the roughness, you know, of the music. You know, it's real. It's not like, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just, you know, you have to be there just to understand it, just to feel it. You know, the world really changed a lot since '95. So now you have the recognition of 25 years. You know, you have that. You know, you know, it's just very different. I mean, '95 it was just word of mouth. So you know, I mean, for 4 years I was losing money because my first location, I moved 5 times. My first location was on Pico and Westwood, and after 1 year I left that you know, that location, because so I moved you know, right down the street, and I stay right down the street like 3 years. So during those 4 years I didn't make any money. I was losing money because I didn't really have foot traffic on Westwood. Even if people said, well, you have Rhino right down the street, you know, and you have UCLA. Well, I'm sorry, but, you know, you don't have any punk rockers in a way. So people were coming to the store were like coming to the store because just for me. So my friend who owned a store on Melrose still actually Brooklyn Project, and the singer of Excel said, "Look, you have to come to Melrose. It's the only place." And I was telling them, I said, "Look, the fucking Melrose is like, Jesus, the rent is like, you're paying like 5 times more, than." But he said, "Yeah, you just adjust your price. Adjust your price is what you have to do. I mean, it's going to be the place to be, and it's where I learn location.
So thank you, Jean-Luc. That was great. We got a little bit of a visit inside your store, and I think it had a great story. So one of the things that Melrose is known for is the street art. And when we were there, obviously, we saw a lot of really cool street art. You'll see this one here.
It moves.
What do you mean it moves?
Did you see that figure just go by?
That was a person. That was a real person that was walking by.
That was like amazing.
No, that was an actual person. And then you have, so this is a Colette Miller, the angel wings. So you see angel wings now, not just here in LA, not just in Melrose, but all over the city, and in fact all over the world. And I was in New York, and I actually saw them in New York.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think I saw them in London as well when I was in London.
But it's a copy off of her idea, not her.
No, these are her wings.
No. I mean, in New York and London.
No, those were her. That was her work.
That was her artwork.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
No, it was Colette Miller.
Okay.
Yep.
Just asking.
No, it was not a copy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she has a signature. You see in the lower right corner there.
Well, I see in this one. This one is in Melrose.
Yeah, she does them all over the world.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So while we were there, we decided to grab a bite to eat, and we found this kind of cute place called the M Cafe, which is closer to La Brea, kind of the east end of Melrose, and it was really good. It was good. They had. I'm kind of glad we found it. It was kind of healthy. They have a little deli inside with all different kinds of salads and things like that, and fresh juices, and their kind of main menu, I think, was primarily sandwiches. I think, right?
Salads and sandwiches. Yeah.
Yeah, but we ended up, and there you are standing in line. This is during the height of the pandemic. We've actually filmed this, I think, in January, so it was kind of the height of the pandemic here in LA, and so they were still sticking to all of the main protocols. So everyone was masked, social distanced, and no one eating at the tables in front or anything like that.
We had to take our lunch.
You had to actually take it
to
find
a
a
driveway.
spot. We actually found
parking lot.
Parking lot to actually have our lunch. But anyway, we ended up getting the tuna burger.
So good.
And I thought it was just going to be like a tuna steak on a burger bun, right? But it ended up being...
It was a ground... I was going to say ground turkey, but ground tuna. Yeah, it was really good.
So we ended up finding this spot in the parking lot, and there was this beautiful mural. So we thought we would stop there and have our lunch. So yeah, we sat down and we ended up having our burgers there in front of the mural, and I was so shocked at how amazing it looked. I wanted to show you what a work of art this thing was. It was just delicious, wasn't it?
It was delicious. It was really, really good. I don't know about work of art, but it was good. It was good.
Yeah, so here it is.
A tuna patty with some pickled ginger. Yum, love pickled ginger.
And avocado.
Love avocado.
On that homemade bun. It was really, really good.
Yeah, and the mayonnaise that they had on it was great too.
Yeah.
Licking my fingers. Yeah. It was finger licking good.
Yeah, so we ended up, after we ate, we went ahead and went shopping up and down the street, and of course one of the first places we stopped was, well, not of course, but one of the first places we stopped was Typhoon, which has been there for a long time. It's kind of an old standby, going back, I believe, to the 90s. And then right across the street from it is also the vintage clothing store.
I used to go there a lot. I could see you in that coat. Pimp Daddy.
Yeah, so American Vintage. I actually bought a Western jacket there. It's actually pretty cool. I wore that thing to death.
It was beautiful. And when you used to twirl and the fringes used to
You
go
don't even remember the jacket. It had no fringes.
Then you used to use your jazz hands.
No. I don't remember what this store. It was not Moist. It was a different store before. But so a lot of the stores have changed. And some of them are the same, and some of them have changed. And the stores used to be kind of punky, really, kind of punky fashions, and now it's kind of a mishmash. There's still some of the punky kind of fashions there, but a lot of it's skateboarding, so kind of catering to the younger crowd today, in their 20s and 30s.
A lot of tennis shoes.
Yeah, a lot of tennis shoe stores. We call them sneaker stores.
Sneakers.
We used to go to LA Iworks all the time. I mean, I never really bought anything there because they were so expensive, but really cool designs. It's a very well-known store. It's still there. And this is kind of an example of kind of Melrose aesthetic. It's this kind of streetwear, kind of hip hop,
underground kind of.
I think it's a little bit updated from what they used to have in the 90s. You would look good in those platform shoes there. The pink ones right there, actually. That would be I can see you wearing those.
And with the skirt. Look at that.
And
skirt.
the jacket.
Where's that hand going? Where's that hand going?
And the
hands off.
The jacket with the eyes on it. That would you definitely. And the pants.
All of it.
Yeah. Remember parachute pants? So that's what they used to have, parachute pants. So that in the 90s, they still had them.
That's like the pants that Robin Williams used to wear, right?
The baggy.
Baggy, yeah. Tapered.
But the parachute pants, they were nylon, they were polyester, and they had zippers all over them, and they look like the pants that parachutists would wear. So we just call parachute pants.
Oh, is that Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, that's Nicolas Cage.
Wow. You can find him on Netflix.
So this store here used to be called Ecru, and now it's Wasteland, which is a secondhand clothing store. Secondhand vintage clothing store. So if you look at the front of Wasteland, it actually spells out E003. So if you look at the W there, to the left of the W is a C. You can see it kind of curving down, and then where the D is in Wasteland, that's the R. And then all the way to the right there where the window is, that's the U. So E003. That was the name of the store. It was kind of like a high-end fashion store designed by a local architect. So there's a lot of things to do on Melrose. It's not just shopping. There's a lot of great places to eat. There's street art to look at. There's entertainment in the evening. So there's stuff to do in the evening as well as during the day. So in the evening, you have the Groundlings Theater, and there are other theaters other than the Groundlings. And then down at Fairfax on the weekend, Fairfax and Melrose, there is the Melrose Trading Post. We're actually going to do a whole episode on the Melrose Trading Post. That's actually going to be our next episode. And it's such a important landmark now. It's been around for 30 years. It's such an important landmark that we kind of warranted doing a whole episode on it. And people actually come from all over the country to go there. It's a big deal.
And while you're there at Melrose doing your window shopping, don't forget to look down, because there's also art on the sidewalks.
Oh yeah, the fried egg.
The fried egg. There was you said
I think it's a sandwich, like a
sandwich,
grilled cheese sandwich.
Grilled cheese sandwich, yeah. So
it's made out of like some kind of resin or something, and it's stuck to the sidewalk.
And the murals are accessible, so they're great for selfies for your Instagram, Facebook, for all social media, right?
Yeah, and just down the street, a little further than Fairfax to the west, is the Paul Smith store, the famous Paul Smith store with the pink wall. And
Huge. Well, the entire building is pink, but yeah.
I mean, you see that. That's probably one of the most famous selfie places in the country. I mean, people come from all over to photograph themselves in front of that pink wall.
Yeah, it's just a few blocks down.
Yeah. So if you go west of Fairfax on Melrose, that's kind of more Rodeo Drive stores, really high-end designers, big names, like some of the names that are down there.
Ross, Marshalls.
No.
Target.
No. So what were some of the ones that you were Cynthia Rowley?
Well, one of your favorites, Diesel.
Well, Diesel is not really a designer, but I mean, yes, they have high-end stores like Diesel down there, but Christian, I'm trying to think of the names of the stores now.
Do your homework.
Right.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah. So if you go west,
the only store I know in that area is Sweet Lady Jane's.
The bakery.
Pie.
Yeah, cake and pie. Sweet Lady Jane's is amazing. It's one of our. I didn't think you liked Sweet Lady Jane's. Do you like it?
No, I like the tarts, of course. No, I love their blueberry tart. Oh my God, it's amazing.
Yeah, and they're famous for their berry cake. So yeah, that's down on Melrose as well, a little farther to the west of where we were.
Yeah, but I can't think of the stores that are out there.
Yeah, so there's Paul Smith.
My pay raise.
There's a lot of really famous kind of Rodeo Drive level stores if you go west of Fairfax.
But you have Prada.
And then there's galleries, and there's no Prada.
There's no Prada there?
No. It's on Rodeo Drive.
Hmm.
But yeah, so there's really kind of something for everyone on Melrose.
Yep.
So Melrose Strong. So absolutely post-corona, they need your support. They need our support. Hashtag Melrose Strong.
Hashtag.
Yeah, so they really do need our support. I mean, everyone's really hurting and struggling. So, but Melrose is is a destination. So they particularly need our help right now.
Yeah, a lot of people like to come to LA and drive through the Melrose area. Stop, park, get out, look around,
have lunch, have breakfast.
Yeah, help the
see a show,
community. Yeah,
see the artwork, and patronize. Anyway, thank you for joining us for the Melrose episode. The next time we're going to be doing, our next episode is going to be the Melrose Trading Post. Yeah. And then we have a lot of other stuff in the queue. So we're going to be dropping our episodes every Thursday. Dropping. That's the term, is dropping. Did you know that?
No.
Dropping. So we're going to be dropping our episodes every Thursday. And please like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000. Help us get to 1,000. That's our goal.
Tell a friend.
Tell a friend. Anyway, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Bye.